Hello everyone, Sam here. How are we all doing? Now in this video, I will be talking about the hardest parts of recovery. Now of course, there are many very difficult parts in recovery and on the journey in getting better and what it takes to recover, and just all different elements at play, all different factors and aspects at play, and that will be involved in your OCD recovery journey. Okay, so I'm just going to list off a few, just things that have come to mind, things I want to really bring up on this video, and to go through how I dealt with it, and just things to be aware of. So you watching this video, obviously starting this journey, maybe you've been in a little while, maybe you've been in a couple of years, and you just feel like OCD just isn't budging. You're finding it very difficult. I hope you can really relate to what I'm about to say here, and how we can look to overcome that and just keep pushing through. OCD is very, very difficult. It's a very relentless disorder. It certainly doesn't budge easily. So you're certainly not alone, okay, but you can get better. There is so much hope, okay? Just keep chipping away, be consistent, work and practice, and ultimately patience as well. Okay, so the hardest parts of recovery. Now, one thing that really got me was the realness, okay? The realness of triggers. When you are triggered, it is going to feel super, super, super real. You won't be able to tell the difference between whether it's OCD or not. You won't be able to do it because that is how it grips you in. And you're also convinced that everything else in the past, every trigger that you've had in the past, well, I can see that that's OCD, but this one's different. This one is going to haunt me forever. There is no coming back from this one. This is going to do me. I'm done. Over. That's it now. Done. Done. Never going to come back from it. And that's how it feels, because OCD is always scanning to how it can prove why your worst case scenario is real, or why your worst fear is real. Okay, so it's looking for the evidence. It's piling up the evidence and using it against you. That's what it does. It finds, right, this thing happened in the past. This proves you're a terrible, awful person. This proves that you're the worst person ever. This is why we talk about unconditional acceptance, because OCD will always look for that. It will always look to prove why your core fear is happening. So you're going to have to go towards, okay, even if it were real, that is not saying it is real. That's not agreement. That's not saying you want it to happen. Of course not. But the only way over it is accepting, even if it did happen unconditionally, how I can learn to accept that, be at peace with myself, overcome that, change my perspective on that. Because if you keep saying, oh, it's definitely not real, it's just my OCD, it's just my thoughts, I'm not a bad person, it's just definitely OCD. OCD will find a way to prove that it isn't OCD. That's how it operates, okay? It will find a way to show you, hey, are you sure? Because this one's different. This one's different to the previous one. Are you sure this one's OCD? So you have to go towards even if it were real. There's no way around that, okay? Acceptance isn't agreement. Always be aware of the realness factor of triggers. They will feel so, so real that you will do anything chasing that certainty. You will do anything to prove why, oh my God, I have to do all I can to prove why this isn't real. Okay, that is the compulsive trap. As you've been in the journey a little while, and as you've read all the books on the reading list, especially book number 1 and book number 3, how you can learn to unconditionally accept yourself, others, and life in general, even if the worst case was real. If you can't learn to accept that unconditionally, OCD will continue having the upper hand of your life. It will continue calling all the shots. You'll be living your life on OCD's terms. You'll just be existing. You'll just be a passenger. OCD will be driving the car. You're in the passenger seat. There's nothing you can do. OCD calls all the shots until you start looking at, okay, even if that were real, how can I learn to accept that? Then OCD starts to back down because you become less scared of it. Okay? Acceptance isn't agreement. You're not saying it is real. You're saying even if it were real. There's a big difference there. So, victimizing, that was a big part. That was a hard part in my journey. The hardest part of my recovery journey was up there with victimizing. Why me? Why does that have to be this fucking difficult? Excuse my language. Why does it have to be this difficult to get better? Why can't it be easier? Well, why shouldn't it be this difficult? Why should it be any level of difficulty? Why are you entitled to recovery? Why are you entitled to get better? Why are you guaranteed to get better? You could work your ass off for ages and ages and ages on recovery. There's still no guarantee you'll get better. Same as if you're building a business. You could work your ass off your whole life. You could leave school at 16 years old and go into building a business. You can work your ass off, keep working, consistency over and over again. There's still no guarantee that it's going to succeed. Still no guarantee that it won't just fall apart very quickly. That's just the brutal reality of life. And recovery is very similar. Okay, let's use different examples here. Let's say you had an injury. You play sport, you play football, and you've got an injury. Okay, you've done your ACL. You've got a serious injury here, serious knee injury. Okay, it's going to take 9 months to get back on track. You could do all the correct work. You could put in all the rehabilitation work, all the correct exercises, rebuilding the strength in your knee, gradually getting back on your feet again, gradually playing football at a high level again. And your first day back, your hamstring goes. And then you've got another 4 months out on the touchlines. So you gradually put in the work again, keep going, keep going, keep going. You do all the correct work. And you come back, they detect a heart problem. And now you can't play sport because you've got a risk of collapsing. You have a heart defect. After all of that, it turns out you can't even play anyway. And that can happen. It's quite an extreme example, of course, but it can happen because you're not guaranteed anything. Just because you've had suffering, just because you've had setbacks, just because you've faced adversities and hardships in life, doesn't mean that you're not owed any, okay? The universe isn't listening. The world isn't listening to you, okay? It's all part of life. If you can't accept the realities of life, if you are refusing to accept the hardships and the brutal truths of life, you're going to find it very difficult. Why does this link to victimizing? Well, it's because I kept saying, why me? Why do I have to have OCD? Why can't I just get better for a few quick coaching calls, read a book, do an exposure, and why can't I be at peace? Because OCD is one stubborn bastard. Okay, it does not budge easy. Okay, it's very relentless. Okay, it will not just budge by doing a bit of half-hearted disputing work, by just, let's look at my fears. Okay, I'm scared of that. Okay, I need to know that now. I can see how it operates now. It doesn't budge, okay? The comparison as well was something that I found difficult. Oh, why can't I be like my friends? Why can't they? Look, they can just go on holiday. They can do all these things. They can drink and not feel anxious. Why can't I do that? Why can't I just go and live life like everybody else? That whining, that complaining, that comparison is taking away your energy to focus on the problem and overcoming that problem and getting your life back on track. I spent years complaining and whining and comparing myself to all my friends. Why can't I be like them? Why have I got to have OCD? Why have I got to pay money to get better? Why have I got to suffer? Thinking about it like now, why shouldn't I suffer? Where does the rule that says Sam Williams shouldn't suffer from OCD? I'm very thankful that I did, because it's taught me so much. The philosophies that I have on life, the outlook I have on life, the gratitude I have, all because of OCD. So I'm super thankful. But when I was stuck, it wasn't like that. It was whine. It was moan. Crying, venting. Okay? So no more victimizing. Okay, I find it difficult because when you're stuck, when you're triggered, right? When you're consumed by all the emotions, it's very easy to say, fuck, why me? Why have I got to go through this? Why can't it be easy? Why can't I just get on with life? So it's easy to go down that trap, but it doesn't get you anywhere. What is solved by venting? You tell me, when has victimizing ever worked? When has an inspirational, remarkable story that you're reading about been built on procrastination, whining, victimizing? Why me? When has a good story been built on that? Never. Okay, so why would your story be built on that? Why would your inspirational story of hope and recovery that can help others in the future, that's not going to be built on you crying about how difficult it is? We all know that. Nobody needs persuading on how difficult OCD is. You watching this video, me here, we've lived with that, okay? But whining and victimizing isn't going to solve anything. Focus on your perspectives, how you're prolonging the suffering, how you're viewing things, your rational beliefs, the compulsions that you're still refusing to give up. You're still trying to work it all out. You're still trying to get certainty. Look at all the behaviors and the beliefs that are holding you back and do something about it. okay, rather than victimizing. It will not bring any beneficial results in the long run. Always remember that. Another hard part of my recovery journey was just the intense feelings, the intensity, and just feeling like shit for a long time. I was being very rational. I was certainly learning rational tools as reading book number one. Here's book number one, How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything by Albert Ellis. An excellent book, a great first book to get the foundations laid out, to get the building blocks to build momentum to rational thinking. But even when I started to become more rational, I was doing regular disputing, I was having consistent calls, I was doing all the right things, I still felt like shit. The guilt was still there. The anxiety was still high. I was still having setbacks. I was still getting triggered. The shame was still there. I was still panicking. I just felt like shit. I just didn't feel like myself. Okay? So that was frustrating. I just felt shit for a long, long time. That only started to change when I allowed myself to feel like shit for the rest of my life. I said, okay, if I feel like shit for the rest of my life, bring it on. Bring it the fuck on. Let's have it. Let's allow it. Because acceptance is not fighting a feeling. Acceptance is the opposite. It's free flowing, letting ourselves feel anything. Dropping that internal guard that we have erected ourselves and is saying, I can't feel this way. That is not acceptance. I have to be allowing to feel anything whilst focusing on my perspective and my compulsions. Simple as that. Working at my belief system and the compulsions that I was doing, my avoidance behaviors, my compulsive behaviors, my seeking reassurance, all that which was fueling the cycle. I had to focus on that whilst letting myself feel like shit forever. Okay, and as we drop the need to change that feeling, then it starts coming down over time. No guarantee, but it starts coming down over time once we drop the need to get rid of a feeling. That's so, so important, because if anything you're doing to get rid of a feeling, if you're disputing in the moment to get rid of a feeling, it becomes very compulsive. If you're confessing, it's to get rid of a feeling, therefore it's compulsive. If you're seeking reassurance, if you're Googling, it's to get rid of a feeling, therefore it's compulsive. So anything that you're doing to get rid of a feeling is a compulsion. Okay, so get willing, get used to, bring it on, let ourselves feel like shit for a long time. Okay, well, forever. Okay, get used to that. Doesn't mean you're gonna feel like shit. It's not agreement. I'm not saying you want to feel like shit, but you have to fully allow ourselves to feel like shit. We have to get so comfortable with the possibility we may never recover, because then you drop the demand to recover. You drop the need to get better right now. You drop the urgency to get better right now, which is crucial, especially for fear of fear. Okay, so keep putting in the work, but let ourselves feel anything. Don't try and force or get rid of a feeling. So important. What else did I find very difficult? Oh, the guilt and the shame wearing me down. Anything that I did, it felt completely obliterated by guilt and shame. Okay, so even if I was trying to be rational, trying to apply unconditional acceptance, it was like, you don't deserve to recover. You don't deserve to be rational. You don't deserve to do anything in your life, Sam. You just deserve to live in misery. You've done this thing in the past. You've had this intrusive thought. You might even have wanted this intrusive thought. You deserve to be punished for the rest of your life. That's how aggressive OCD felt. It felt, boom, get back down. Hey, look at you over there, Sam, trying to enjoy your life. Get down. That's how it felt. It felt like a boulder weighing me down. Like something like it was on my back. I was trying to walk around. Nope, you've done this. And it just felt completely weighed down. Whatever I did, it just felt, boom, get back down. Get in your lane, Sam. You've done this. And I was in that self-punishing cycle. I was in that self-neglecting cycle. I had no self-compassion at all. Okay? But always remember, no matter how much work you're putting in, that intense feeling of guilt and shame will linger. It will be there. Okay? That only fully unlatches, and it did for me, once I truly started to apply it. But please remember, that takes time. You won't just know you're applying it. It happens throughout time, where the guilt and shame starts to release. If I still had conditional acceptance today and my old black and white rigid way of thinking, I'd still be bombarded with guilt and shame. I'd still be weighed down, pushed to the floor, trapped in, like completely trapped in by guilt and shame. Anything I did was like, no, you've done this, you've done that. Okay? That'd be a good screenshot. That's a great screenshot, by the way. And that's how it's going to feel for a little while. Always remember that, okay? That's going to be intense, those feelings. Keep chipping away, keep trying to live life, keep trying to build your structure, keep going towards your goals, career goals, relationship goals, whatever you're doing. Don't avoid, even with those feelings there. They're so important, okay? Being aware that it's going to weigh you down is very important. Just being aware of that, get on with it anyway, okay? Whilst keep being consistent with the work. Another hard part was the feelings of hopelessness, feeling totally lost, feeling totally confused. I remember once I was reading a book, the first book on the reading list. I think I was reading it the second time around, and I read something that he said about OCD, and it was something where he found it difficult. It might not have been in the first book, but I read something that Albert Ellis said about OCD, and it was very difficult to work with an OCD sufferer because we whine a lot, and as we do know, we whine. As a coach, I know that OCD sufferers whine, and I certainly did myself, whine, whine, whine. Hence the song, Whine, 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 that he talks about in the first book. And that was like, right, shit. If this doesn't work for me, if ROBT doesn't work for me, if these books don't work for me, I am fucked. That kind of 0 to 100 thinking, jumping to irrational conclusions. That's it. My life was done. And I felt totally lost. I felt totally confused at that time. I thought, what do I do? What do I turn to? If this isn't working for me, I'm the exception. This is all real. Oh my God, I will never get better. Oh my God, I'm going to be stuck forever. And back down the rabbit hole I went very quickly. Okay, so you've got to get very used to suddenly feeling hopeless at times. Don't wait for the hope to return. Get on with it anyway. Get used to feeling lost. You're going to feel very confused. You're going to feel very, what do I do? I just feel baffled. What do I do? Get aware of those feelings, okay? Try and stick to the work, even whilst you're getting sidetracked by all different things, because OCD, with the doubting disorder that you got, is going to throw in curveballs. It's going to throw in different things happening. Oh shit, what if that happens? Oh wait, what if I never get into this? Oh wait, what about this trigger? Oh, what about this fear? Oh shit, what about this feeling? You're going to have all of that, okay? So try and stay on track with all the work that you're putting in, all the recovery work. If you're coming in for coaching calls, try and stay on track. This is why they're super important, by the way, coaching calls, because we can identify where you're getting distracted by, where you're getting sidetracked by, because you've got a doubting disorder. It's going to try and push you off track. Okay, so try and stay consistent with the work, even when you're feeling hopeless, even when you're feeling lost and confused. It's all part of the journey. I felt very confused on my journey. Okay, because you just feel lost and stuck at times. It's all part of the journey. The relentless triggers. Wow, that hit me. This relentlessness of it. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, give me a break, give me a fucking break. That's how it felt, okay? That kind of give me a fucking break approach didn't work, okay? I had to bring them on. I changed my mindset around triggers completely. It changed my life. I realized that, hang on, I make myself triggered by how I'm viewing something. Therefore, I'm accountable for my own triggers. I'm accountable for my suffering then. I'm accountable for my own mental health. It's down to me and how I view it. It's my perception. So therefore, I can change my perception on what triggered me. I can look to accept myself unconditionally. I can look to bring down my catastrophizing. I can look for my rigid demands. I can look for how my undeservingness is getting me into lots of trouble there. I can look for my self-downing, my other downing, my life downing. I can look for all of that. I can see how that kind of thinking is getting me into a heap load of emotional trouble, and therefore do something about it. So with OCD, you will get bombarded by triggers. Boom, boom, boom. Different fears, different themes, different things, everything. It can latch to anything. Okay, don't underestimate what it can do and what it will latch to. And when you're going to feel confused, sometimes you feel like you don't even know what you're triggered by. It's all part of the journey. Be willing to get triggered, view it as an opportunity, look to see how you triggered yourself by how you're viewing something, and look to overcome that. View a trigger, view the relentlessness of it as just more hurdles on the journey, another hurdle to overcome, rolling with the OCD punches, another hurdle, another obstacle, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, and you start building that momentum. Okay, very important. Another hard part for me was wishing for my old self back. Oh, why me? Looking at old photos of myself. Oh, look, I remember going to that football match with no anxiety. Oh, I remember going to that music concert with no anxiety. Oh, I remember going out in that friend group with no anxiety. Oh, I remember going on this holiday when the guilt wasn't there. That didn't get me anywhere. Okay, don't just wish for your old self back. Look to become a more empowered, rational version of yourself. Somebody who's very good at overcoming obstacles. Somebody who has a robust, recovered mindset of dealing with life problems, dealing with adversities, facing hardships in the face and overcoming them. Okay? No great stories, no great things happen, no progress has happened with procrastination. You want to read about stories of people who have overcome problems. So they face adversity in the face and dealt with it and overcome that. Okay, and OCD gives you that mindset because you are dealing with a very difficult disorder here. And it's a great opportunity for you to change your life completely and be thankful for OCD. Be thankful for the suffering. It's teaching you so much. Okay. So no wishing for old self back. Go towards the new self. What you can learn from this suffering. Crucial stuff. I'm going to talk about two more things before I go on too long. Overcome avoidance was very difficult for me. Okay, I was avoiding so much. I was housebound because of OCD. Housebound, avoiding so much. I had POCD, I had harm OCD, I had driving OCD, I had all the sort of taboo-related, guilt-related themes. I had all kinds of themes, but those were the main ones. So it was easy for me to avoid, and I got used to avoiding. I got comfortable avoiding, but no progress happened avoiding. You can't avoid your way to recovery. It will not work. You have to face the fear head on, confront the fear, go towards it. Okay, avoidance steals precious time away from you. It traps you in, it boxes you in, and then you're living in the parameters of OCD. Your life is completely restricted in a mental prison. Okay, overcoming avoidance was very, very difficult because I got used to that suffering, but you're going to have to get used to it. Exposures again and again and again. Getting over that avoidance, okay? Because before you know it, your life's boxed in. Only you can get yourself over that avoidance and all the other compulsions that you're doing. It's your choice. You hold the key to that, okay? And finally, going back to the relentlessness of OCD, the stubbornness of OCD. Okay, OCD's refusal to budge even after consistent work. Okay, it will take a while to start to unlatch. You could be working your ass off for months, maybe even for years, and it can still be very difficult for it to budge because there'll be something there that it's latching to. And yes, it just takes time and patience. Okay, so the relentless, stubborn nature of OCD I find very difficult. Okay, but yet again, it's just one of those hurdles to overcome. Okay, view it as a journey, view it as a process. Don't view it as just a sudden fix of OCD and then gone. Okay, as you get onto the OCD recovery journey, it changes your life because you get very good at overcoming OCD, therefore other problems in your life as well. Okay, view it as an opportunity. I want you in a position where you're saying, I'm so thankful that I had OCD and suffered because it taught me so much. I'd have never have had this outlook or perspective on life if it wasn't for OCD. Therefore, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for its stubbornness and its refusal to budge, because me overcoming OCD, me recovering, it shows a huge amount of strength to get over that. Okay, and if you can overcome OCD, which will probably be the biggest challenge that you face in your life, think what step that's going to put you into getting overcoming other problems. Okay, you don't become problem free, you don't become hassle free, you just get very good at dealing with problems, sorting problems, and overcoming that. Very important. I've got many other things to talk about, but I don't want to go on too long. Okay, I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you have, please leave a like. If you're interested in getting in touch with the coaching calls, either with me, Sam, Rob, Nick, Momin, or Gemma, please email Phil, and his email address is phil@ocdrecovery.com. You can get in touch, and we will book you in as soon as we can. Anyway, you take care, and we'll speak again. Bye-bye.